Hi, this is Dr. Amy, and I'm the author of Timing Resistance Training, Programming the Muscle Clock for Optimal Performance. In this short video, we will talk about first, what a muscle clock is, in other words, what it is made up of, and second, how do you utilize muscle clocks to gain strength. So first of all, answering what is a muscle clock. In its easiest terms, a muscle clock is literally an internal timepiece in your muscle that monitors 24-hour cycles. Now, you have a ton of biological clocks, the most important one being the master clock in the brain, which does influence your muscle clocks. But important to us in sports performance is that a muscle clock is made up of transcription factors, which are essentially genes that regulate its function. And in our case, what's really important, and this is what I want you to take away, is that a muscle clock is made up of proteins, many different protein regulation factors. So anything that affects protein synthesis and activity is very important to us in terms of muscle mass gains, muscle strength, power, and speed. So again, a muscle clock is a 24-hour timekeeper that helps to regulate protein synthesis and activity associated with muscle performance. And of course, in our case, we want optimal muscle performance. So that leads to the second part of our question, which is essentially, how do we utilize muscle clocks? How do we speak to them? How do we use them in training rooms to get muscle performance benefits? The first thing that I want to tell you is that muscles can anticipate. Research shows that muscles are autonomous, independent, self-regulated entities. They have the capability with the right cues about time and about exercise programming. They learn to anticipate training sessions and click on the associated molecular actions associated with muscle performance outcomes ahead of training schedule. Now, this data was collected utilizing racehorses, elite racehorses, excuse me. What happened in this particular study was that when the racehorses were monitored on a 24-hour period, over several months, what they found was that the muscles at the molecular level clicked on the actions associated with muscle performance 30 minutes ahead of scheduled training. Now, that is our key. We are applying that data to humans. We're not necessarily making a huge leap because we do know that the same muscle clocks are inside your over 600 skeletal muscles as well. What we do need to take from the racehorse study is timing. Muscle clocks want to be on a 24-hour schedule, period. Your whole body does. Your master clock in your brain responds to light day cycles, activity rest cycles. Same with your muscle clocks. They're influenced by your master clock. They respond to those same cues, but they also have their own set of cues related to exercise programming. In our case, resistance training. So how do you deliver in the training room those cues that muscle clocks are looking for to optimize your sports performance and even your general fitness results? The first thing and foremost, and there's a lot of data on this right now, is scheduled time of day training. The bottom line when it comes to resistance training, the data is showing us that late afternoons, very early evening are your best times for muscle mass, strength, power, and speed gains. If we were looking at cardiovascular fitness, time of day, suggested time of day, would be a tad bit different. So around 4 to 6 p.m. is your optimal window, time of day, to train for muscle performance outcomes associated with mass, strength, speed, and power. So time of day. Reality, if you can't always do 4 to 6 p.m., you're good at other times. Just make sure it's a consistent schedule. And remember the racehorses. Those molecular actions are kicking on at a specific time of day because they've learned to anticipate. Second, you're going to want to use biomechanically similar exercises. So what that means is you're going to be utilizing paired exercise training methods that utilize the same joints and the same joint action and the same muscle action. That delivers cues of biomechanical similarity to muscles such that, again, they learn what to expect, and not only what to expect, because of that volume, you get that reinforcement that is required in motor learning. So again, timing of training, time of day. Second, your paired method training. So those would be the two most important factors. The third thing I do want to mention briefly and last is intermittent training. So if you're on a 24-hour schedule, you don't want to rest any longer than 24 hours at a time. Recovery periods, again, should last no more than 24 hours. You can do a lighter workout, less intense workout, but you want to constantly be delivering 24-hour cues. 48 hours gets into a window where biological clocks are beginning to not understand. 96 hours, of course, is when detraining begins to occur. So again, to summarize, what we talked about today was what is a muscle clock? What is it made up of? Its significance to us in sports performance and fitness, and finally, how to communicate and speak to those muscle clocks in the gym to maximize your sports performance outcomes. Thank you.